The Charlotte 49ers are here to round out American Athletic predictions. They are also a new team that enters the fray of American Athletic play this season. And, well, to be quite honest, there is not very high expectations surrounding this program. They disappointed last year coming off of a postseason berth, I do believe, here in 2021, if not very close to it. But when you take a look at the Charlotte team overall, there's going to be a lot of building up to do. You got a new head coach. You got some new players coming in, brand new system, and a brand new conference to work yourself around as well. So will Charlotte surprise and maybe enter a postseason berth in a first-year head coach in 2023? Or is this team going to struggle and sit at the bottom of the American Athletic? What's up, Tailgaters? My name is Tailgate Nate. Welcome to my channel, previewing and predicting all 133 FBS level college football teams this summer, which means I'm doing your favorite team. So hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you know when that video gets uploaded. But hey, there are more ways than that you can always support my channel. You're doing one right now by watching the video. You can do more by liking, commenting, sharing, and anything else you're willing and able to do to help me support my channel. The support on the channel has been insane this summer. Thank you guys so much. Continue to help support me in any way that you are willing and able to. Let's talk about Charlotte in 2023, final team in the American Athletic Conference and one of the 6 newcomers to the conference this season. How do we do preview predictions around here? Well, we're going to go through a roster overview and look at who the team lost, who's coming back, and who's coming in through the transfer portal and recruiting class, as well as taking a look at the 2023 Charlotte football schedule, and we'll give it a good old game-by-game preview and prediction. So without further ado, let's talk about the 49ers here in 2023. There are a lot of names on the board, and I'm going to go through them here pretty quickly. So if I don't say where a transfer is from, just know that they are, again, a transfer again. There are 16 transfers coming in, probably plus a whole lot more. That number is at least according to 24/7. But let's start with the quarterback position. Going to look very different this year as your 3 primary quarterback options last season, that meaning your top 3 leading passers from last year, are gone. Most notably is Chris Reynolds. Was a really good quarterback for Charlotte over the past couple of seasons, and you will lose him this year. 2,540 yards, 22 touchdowns, 11 interceptions on 63.5% completion percentage. That's a big loss for the Charlotte team. You're also going to lose guys like Xavier Williams and James Foster, both of which played some solid minutes for Charlotte last season. Who's going to play quarterback? Well, you don't really have any returners to the quarterback room, but you do have a couple transfers coming into this quarterback room that could end up helping play the position for this team. You got Jalen Jones and Micah Bowens, both of which I do believe coming over from Power 5 programs to help play quarterback, and then a freshman in Carson Black enters the room as well to try to be the guy that will end up winning the quarterback position, number 33 overall player out of the state of South Carolina. Running back room, you are going to lose some pretty solid players here as your second, third, and fourth leading rushers are all gone. Siobhan McEachern, apologies if I said that last name wrong. I probably did. That's why it took me so long. Calvin Camp and Johnny Martin are all gone off of this team. But your leading rusher in Shadrick Bird, I don't know why words are so hard for me today. I apologize. Shadrick Bird does come back, and you get a freshman coming in Darrell Robinson that should play solid minutes, and then some transfers as well, most notably Teron Kelman, who should play some solid minutes for this team. Wide receiver room is getting an overhaul as well, as your top 3 guys, and Elijah Spencer, Grant Dubose, and Victor Tucker, among more. That is 2,000 yards of receiving production, and some quick math, 24 receiving touchdowns from last year. All of them are going to be gone, and you get a lot of transfers coming into this wide receiver room. Jaden Bradley, Ike White, Randy Fields, and Jack Hystera are all in to play wide receiver for the Charlotte 49ers. In the tight end room, well, Taylor Thompson and Eugene Minter. Both of those guys were looks like top 7 receivers for this team last season. Both of them at least over 100 yards. Neither of them with a touchdown, though, last year, unfortunately. But Jake Clemens does come back, and a transfer comes over in Gus McGee as well. And on the offensive line, Jackson Hughes and Jordan Brown are gone. You get Panda Askew and Johnny King back, a couple starters, and a lot of transfers coming as well. Kevin Williams, Andrew Adair, Jonathan Bass, and Ja'Kai Green will all come in for this 49ers program to play on the offensive line. So there's a preview of your offense. Again, a lot of new faces to this program. You do have some former 3-stars coming out of high school. A lot of Power 5 transfers on that offense as well. So if everything clicks, who knows, could be a pretty solid offense. But you got to take a look at the defensive side too, not just all about the offense, is it? And again, you lose a lot more from defense as well. Taking a look at the defensive side, Marquise Watts is going to be leaving, had 4 sacks last year, was the team's 7th leading tackler. Amir Sadiq is gone, had 5.5 sacks last season. That led the team, so your top 2 sack leaders from last year are gone. Sadiq also 47 tackles, and then Kofi Wardlow is also going to be gone as well. Pretty solid piece on that defensive line. You do get a couple pieces coming back as Jalar Hawley and Des Morgan return, but again, a lot of transfers come in as well. Most notably, Ayabi Oki and Julius Welshoff, who should play some solid minutes for this team here in 2023. When you take a look at the linebacking room, Chase Monroe and BJ Turner are both going to be gone. Both of those, again, top 10 tacklers for this team last year. BJ Turner, you tack on an interception to his name last year. Those were some pretty good players, but your leading tackler in Prince Bema does come back, had 62 tackles, and 2 sacks from last season, as well as a pass defended. And then Derek Boykins coming back to this team as well. Pretty solid player for the Charlotte defense last season. And then, again, some transfers do come in. Nikai Hill Green, and I will butcher this name, Osi Tadanima Ekwanu will be transferring in to this program to help up that linebacking unit. On the defensive back side of things, who do we have gone? Well, Gio Howard is gone, as well as Solomon Rogers. Hey, those were 2 top 5 tacklers for this team last season. And then Howard led the team with 6 passes defended. I haven't gotten there yet. Yes, Howard led the team with 6 passes defended. My apologies. As well as Solomon Rogers and Devondre Robinson will all be leaving this back. Speaking of Wayne Jones, who I mentioned earlier, he led the team with 2 interceptions and was the team's 2nd leading tackler. He is coming back, as well as Stephen Parker and McGuire Neal, as well as, again, some transfers coming in. DeAndre Hollins, Ali Mahai Ali, and Dante Balfour come into this program as well. So, again, you're getting some Power 5 transfers into this program. A lot of former 3-stars out of high school. It just has to all click. Your head coach is Xavier Biff Poggi. A lot of people call him Biff, so Biff Poggi. Offensive coordinator Mike Miller. Defensive coordinator Ryan Osborne. Again, I don't know why words are so hard for me today. I apologize. But let's take a look at the Charlotte schedule for 2023. Any game at home is underlined, and any game on the road is in italics or the slanted text. Any game in green is a game I see Charlotte being able to win easily. Any game in yellow is a game I think they'll win. Close back and forth. Very close game. But Charlotte's able to win, and red is a loss. I think you start out your season with a win here at Charlotte, albeit a close win against South Carolina State. I do think it's going to take some time for the Charlotte program to really find their footing and really get going, but I do see Charlotte winning that first game of the year against South Carolina State. That's an opponent from the FCS ranks. And then, well, Charlotte fans may want to click off the video now. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, continue to watch the video if you are a 49ers fan, but you may not like what you see. Just a fair warning, because the rest of the way, I think it's going to be pretty rough sledding for this team. On the road at Maryland is going to be a game that I think you lose no matter how good of a football game you play. Maryland's going to be too explosive offensively for this team. Maryland's got Talia Tagovailoa, a lot of weapons offensively. Defense, sure, there's the big question mark there, but all in all, that's a team that I do not see Charlotte being able to beat. And then Georgia State is a very feisty, very hard-nosed program coming out of the Sun Belt ranks. That's going to be a team that I think is going to be pretty solid this year as well, and a team that I think Charlotte will end up losing to. Much like the Florida Gators. Now, I am on record saying, and I still believe that I do not think Florida is going to fare that well in 2023. I think it's going to be a very struggling season for Billy Napier and company. They're trying to replace a lot of very good talent. They do have some good players there, some really, really good players, but trying to replace Anthony Richardson at quarterback. And I think it's just going to be a struggling year for Billy Napier. However, I think they are a much better team than the Charlotte 49ers, especially when you play the game in the Swamp. That's a game that Charlotte, I believe, is going to lose. I also see them losing to SMU here. Too much speed on the Ponies roster here. I believe that SMU just going to be able to outspeed Charlotte pretty much in every facet. You are losing quarterback Tanner Mordecai, but Preston Stone is in. He's got a lot of speed, a lot of talent around him. Defensively, there's some good talent there as well. SMU is going to have a really good season, could even contend for the American Athletic title, and Charlotte will not be beating them. Now, you do get your bye week before you play a winnable game at home here against Navy, but I even think you lose this game here. And again, very winnable game for the Charlotte 49ers. I definitely think they can beat Navy. That is a Navy team, especially offensively, that has been a little inept throughout most of the past couple of seasons. It's an offense, though, that I do think is getting better. I think is progressing in the right direction, and they have a lot of returners on defense that I think are going to be able to take it to this Charlotte offense, going to be able to slow them down, and I think Navy goes ahead and wins that game. You got to go on the road to play East Carolina, and even though they are losing a lot of weapons offensively, excuse me, I'm still a little congested, my apologies. Whole Nailers at quarterback, Keaton Mitchell at running back. Lots of talent is leaving that wide receiver room. Hey, you even have some key pieces leaving that secondary as well. East Carolina, I still think it's going to be a team that's going to fight, that's going to get their way to some wins this year, and I think that is definitely a team to watch out for in the American Athletic, even though with all they lost. I think that's a loss for the Charlotte 49ers. And then I think you lose to FAU as well. Very interesting team this season. Could definitely see them making a run in an American Athletic championship game with all they have. Again, Tom Herman is coming in to be that head coach. He thrives in the group of five scenario. Casey Thompson, a former Power 5 quarterback at Texas and Nebraska, transferring in. I know his arm may not be the best, but that's a really good pickup from the transfer portal for FAU. There's a lot of talent around him. Again, depth may be a little bit of a question for that team. It won't be a question here, though. They're going to be able to beat Charlotte as the 49ers lose their, what is that, 7th straight game? Why not? Let's go ahead and make it 8. I know I apologize, 49er fans, but you got to go on the road to play Tulsa. That's a team that, again, it's going to be very interesting to try to see what that Tulsa team is this year. You do have a new head coach. Kevin Wilson is coming in to town, but there's a lot of talent there. Braylon Braxton is taking over for Davis Brin at quarterback, and there's some good talent mixing around him offensively, defensively. You got some good pieces as well. I think Tulsa has the ability to have a really good year, and I think they're definitely more talented than the Charlotte team. They go ahead and win that game. And I think Memphis is going to be one of the best teams in the conference this season. Definitely could compete much like SMU and maybe even FAU as well. Could compete for the American Athletic title. And Memphis has Seth Hennigan at quarterback. Phenomenal talent, some good weapons around him at wide receiver, running back, pretty loaded up there as well. Defensively, I think they have some solid pieces. Ryan Silverfield has some stuff to prove as a head coach. I think he proves it this season, and Memphis, I think, has a really, really good year. I think that's a very talented team, and Charlotte not going to be able to win that one. Food, right? Here, Rice is up next on the schedule. Again, another winnable game. That Rice defense is suspect. They do a good job of limiting yards, but not a good job of getting offenses off of the scoreboard. But when you look at the Rice's offense of their own, JT Daniels is coming in to play quarterback. Your top 2 leading receivers come back for that team. And hey, even though they did even lose some key pieces on defense, they're getting some pieces back and some pieces coming in to help bolster up that defensive room. Rice has been building towards a successful year for a very long time. Again, may not come this year in the American Athletic. They did make a bowl game last season. I think they're going to continue to be a solid team as Charlotte does not win that game. And I don't even think you beat South Florida either. There are a lot of transfers coming in. They also have a new head coach coming in. And while it may be a struggle for South Florida to put together a really successful year one under their first year head coach, former Tennessee offensive coordinator Alex Golish, I believe that South Florida is really more talented than Charlotte. So Charlotte, I just have having a disappointing season this year. I don't think a lot is going to go right for Biff Poggi and this program. Maybe when you go ahead and take a look at future years, maybe they start to rise up. But as of right now, just a team that I don't think projects out very well. Not a team that I like a whole lot. Charlotte, I think, sits at the bottom of the American Athletic Conference this season. But that's going to do it for me. Again, American Standings video is up next. Appreciate all you guys watching. And hey, remember to play hard but tailgate harder. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.